Hey, Pex Geeks. Hey, Pest Geeks. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Sunday afternoon, man. It's, Cigar Sundays. Got this new cigar. Um, I ordered it online. I have no idea what it is. I'm to the point in my life where I have no idea what I'm smoking. Thank God I'm not like Cheech and Chong. Um, yeah, so I'm going to cut this guy right here. And I'm having had an espresso a little while ago. Having this, it's a windy day today, man. I got my dead cat microphone gonna be working full time because it is windy, it is chilly. It's beautiful though. It's a beautiful day to be out here. Got my glasses where I got some coffee or water or something on them. I can't tell what I have on my glasses. Um, Bro, what a week. Well, pulled the trigger, hiring a full-time SEO, social media developer, web guru, full-time to do everything I want to do. Um, Pesky Podcast, Nature Pest, Godly Business, the DIY podcast, the landscape show that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be producing 5 different podcasts this year, different markets targeted, because we're going to get the word out, buddy, about what real pest control is and what good pest control is. And after getting my SEO tanked, it's going to take about a month for that thing to go back online now, and I have to work doubly hard. But I'm good. I'm in a place. Hold on a second.
Mira, ¿no? Pero Frankie, todavía tú no te has fumado el tabaco. Imagínate que yo mira que ya tú te habías fumado la mitad del tabaco con el café.
No, nada más que estaba ahí leyendo un poco.
No, qué frío.
¿Hace frío?
Hace frío, yo no sé. Frankie, porque tú no te sientas, coño, que vas y yo no sé qué tú. No, hombre, no, te
Pues te va adentro todo, no te preocupes.
Te sientas aquí.
No, yo estoy bien.
Te sientas
No, yo estoy
aquí
bien.
y el humo va para afuera si quieres, si no que te queda adentro. Si total.
It's the gopher.
Okay,
Dale.
porque vas y yo te frío.
No te preocupes. My mother, she's 85. It's too cold out here and too windy for her. You know, she's wearing a winter coat, looking like she's in New York with earmuffs. Nice. It's gonna start out a little different, but so anyway, so we're just gonna 10x it, man. I read the book 10x by Grant Cardone a while back, probably last year, and me and my buddy, we've been talking about, bro, how do we do this? You know, Gary V, social media, and 10x everything that we're doing. We're both on the same page, trying to figure out how to do it. I says, bro, I need the money. I need to bring you on board and devote ourselves full time to doing this stuff and promoting it. So we've got the academy going. We're going to be promoting the heck out of that. Going to be finishing it. I recorded one yesterday. It takes about 24 hours, guys, to record one class because you got to do the preparing. I got to do the good research. I got to edit it down. I got to do PowerPoint. I've got to record it 3 to 4 times sometimes to get it just right. We got to produce it, edit it, put it online. So this has been about 400 hours worth of work to just launch the academy. This is why most people don't have a curriculum. It takes time to put thoughts on paper and put thoughts on video and audio and create a system. And what we're doing is I'm creating a very decent system to get a technician up and running for me, and I'm sharing this with everybody else. I got it's allergies. I've been getting allergies lately, especially on certain days. I don't know what I'm allergic to. I got to see what the pollen count is. But anyway, I got one knocked out. I have 2 more to record. I had 3 to finish for CEUs. These are hour long, and then we're going to be breaking these down and putting them into other courses. The introduction to pest control is going to be finished, I'm estimating, before the end of the month. I'm going this week to PMU on Tuesday. I've got the entire month booked out, guys, on podcasts for guests. So the entire month of March is completely booked. There's no open. There's one left in April. So if you want to jump on the podcast and you want to have a discussion about something, go on there, PestGeekPodcast.com/guest. Go ahead and just sign up for the podcast, because I'm bringing people on board from all over to have all kinds of discussions. A bunch of you guys that are pest control guys that have been following me for a long time are jumping on. We want to do the Pest Pro Local. We want to promote local guys. We want to talk to entomologists. We want to talk to serious business people. Guys, stop trying to come on board because you've got a product to market, a software, an SAS, a sales system, the next app that you want to get leads. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in getting the best training, the best information that can help people really grow. If you give me good content and talk about things that really matter. I mean, if you got a cool product that the pest control is like, a new rat trap, love to hear about it. If you're going to come on board as a sales specialist and teach people how to really get sales, don't come and plug an app. We got to give real value to my audience. I'm at the point where I'm having a real issue with a lot of you marketers that are just coming on board just because I have an audience, because you want to sell your lead system. If you give value and you teach people how to do something, and then they can figure out how they can use you, that'd be great. So give value when you come, disproportionate to the amount that you're asking on the whatever it is you're asking for. I want to have a serious conversation about things. We're having serious discussions about IPM, the changes that need to happen. I had a great conversation. He told me, "Why didn't you record this conversation?" I said, I usually don't record the conversations because I would have to get your permission, and 2, that the software that's out there to record phone conversation are hit and miss. They're not great. I'll record a conversation and then only me's coming out the other side. But we needed to have this conversation and about the discussion of IPM and the need to really have the legal definition of IPM for urban commercial, urban residential, because all of it is from agricultural, industrial, food processing, and that, which doesn't apply to a lot of us the way it's written, especially if we're going to say we're IPM practitioners. I think the language is changing. The language is truly changing, where we're not discussing IPM, we're discussing assessment-based. I think that one is very practical. I'm getting Denny Miller on. I got Janet Hurley coming on for IPM. She's an extension agent. She's an ACE. She is a bunch of other titles behind her name. She shut off on me already. To have a serious discussion about what IPM. I'm having a lot of IPM about IPM. I just finished doing one yesterday, these webinars where I'm showing the data. It's confusing. I get it. A lot of you guys are confused. You're frustrated. You can't really implement IPM if so you don't want to call it IPM because you're a technical. When you're reading the ACE manual and you read what has to be done for real IPM, you realize that in 99% of your cases in residential and commercial environment, like a restaurant, the average mom restaurant, IPM isn't going to happen, not in its classical legal form. I get it. So this is why we're having the discussions. I think we really need to have these discussions. I think they're healthy. I think the debates are challenging. Here's what we got to stop, bro. We have to stop taking it personally. We have to stop attacking other people in the groups. I'm seeing the conversations. I would rather have 1,000 people in a group, my group, that really want to learn and really want to learn from each other versus trying to prove they're right and which one's bigger. You know what I mean? We get personal, and then when we can no longer prove our point, we start attacking each other. I think that needs to stop. I think a lot of the reasons I leave a lot of the groups is because of that. I'm just not interested. I'm not. I want to have a fruitful discussion. I want to have a debate on the facts. Bring out the facts. Bring out the facts as you have them, because then I can show you from other sources other facts that contradict that fact, and then we can say, yeah, I get it. You know, I think Dennis called me the other night. We had a very fruitful conversation. I don't take a lot of calls from a lot of people. Certain people I take from, but you know, I know he knows his stuff, and I know he knows. So at the end of the day, we're both saying the same thing. I'm just saying it a different way that he's saying it to my customer. What it really matters, guys, is all this conversation between ourselves and arguing about splitting hairs over saying the same thing, because I'm saying it different. I'm saying it in a way that's marketable. You're saying it in a way that's technical. And the problem is that technical is never good marketing. Not unless you're selling to a highly technical client. In other words, if your business is selling to tier 3 labs, biolabs, or high-end surgical clinics that require an IPM and have an IPM protocol, yes, it matters. When we're talking about the average residential client, it does not matter, because what we need to tell the client is the truth, the concept behind it. And when we start talking about, well, you need to exclude and you need to fix all these problems in the house, and the house is built in the 50s and they're 80 years old and they're living their last years, and they're not going to fix the house, and the son isn't going to fix the house, and nobody's going to fix the house, or you're in a rental property and you're hiring us and the owner is not going to fix the house, IPM goes out the door in the technical sense. I've done surgical clinics where we've done IPM and we've done mostly sealing, and then we put out granular bait, and we haven't had to treat that clinic again in over a year for roaches, for American roaches. For ants, we had to go in with boric acid. Don't understand that when you're in you're a surgical center inside an office building, that IPM isn't being done in the entire building. You're sandwiched between somebody. There's no way we can do IPM. You're going to call me when there's an ant problem in that kitchen or in the surgical room, and I got to go in there and treat it. I have to treat it. I have to use bait. I have to use a reduced risk product. I'm not going to spray, but I still have to use a chemical. Boric acid is a chemical. Garlic juice, if used to kill mosquitoes, is a pesticide. If it's used to kill mosquitoes, the technical term, we're splitting hairs over it because it does matter, but it doesn't matter to the client. What the client needs to know is, are we really solving this problem in an eco-friendly manner that is a green service? And how do we explain what green is? IPM is green, holistic is green, assessment-based is green. It's an extension of green. It's an extension of organics. How do we explain it? How do we give it to the customer? Here's why. A study that was done back in 98, I believe, and it was a Gallup survey, and I just had the data on my podcast yesterday. 75% of people believe that what you and I use are more toxic than what they're using. There's the fallacy. Yet, 90+% of people are applying their own pesticides in the home. Who's contaminating the home? Them or us? Them. How do we communicate that if they're saying, well, people are reading the New York Times. New York Times just had an article that talked about the risk of pyrethroids in a home and the risk of how heart attack and people with heart attacks that had proof of pyrethroids in the home increased. Well, that can be exaggerated. Well, here's the problem. Here's the point. They're reading a New York Times article, and nobody's reading PCT magazine. The fact that the news has more influence than we do is pathetic. The fact that you complain about it and don't put out a single post, a single video to contradict it is pathetic. The fact that you'll say it isn't fair and do nothing about it is pathetic. So when I do it, you might not like the way I do it, but I'm getting the information out. I'm going to get the information out. I'm going to take what's buried in Google Scholar that nobody's going to go to and put it out in the mainstream on video and audio where people can access it, where I will influence the world on real IPM, real pest control. The fact that over 2/3 of people believe that what we have is an arsenal, the reason they call us and they try to do it themselves and they fail is because they don't know how to use the product, they don't know the techniques, they're not trained in pest control. The fact that 2/3 think to 3/4 think that what we use is more toxic than what they're using, and that is the reason they hired us, is when they fail, they call us. The fact that for 50 years, 20% of people ever call a professional pest control, but only 10% use them on a regular basis. 50% of all the pesticide applied in residential market, actually 80% of all the pesticide applied in a residential market is applied by a homeowner, and 50% of it is applied to lawns. Tells us there's a huge confusion. And what has the pest control industry done? What has National Pest Management done? What has PCT Magazine done? What has pest management done other than deal with the industry itself? And nobody's dealt with the end user. Orkin has put out the studies. And what have they done? You see, and everybody's talking about what isn't being done and having a debate about how ignorant people are and how stupid people are, and yet you're doing a damn thing about it. You see, that is my point. So I'm putting out content. I'm hiring a person to come on and build my company up, but also build up our brand, build up our brands, and put out content at scale where we're 10xing our content, where by the end of the year, I will have way over 1,000 pieces of content out there discussing this more than anybody, and I will have a bigger impact on the industry than anybody has ever had. And I will have the information from the experts. This isn't stuff I'm making up. Listen, I'm just taking the news that nobody's reading and making it readable. It's windy out here, guys. So this is what I'm focused on. I have a technician that texted me last night. Daily, I'm getting these, guys. I'm getting text, message, instant message about the complexities about what we do. And he told me, I just had my company tell me to do this. And what do you do, bro, for small flies? And I said, bro, take the nicest protocol and just use the nicest protocol. They're having them spray pyrethroids inside the trash room and the trash chute. He says, man, the more I'm with this company, the more I realize they don't know anything. Yep, that's sad. That's the state of our industry. The fact that a nail technician has more training, certified training, a lady, woman, generally it's a woman most of the time. I mean, men can do nails too. That's fine if you want to do nails. I go to the Chinese place and I walk by and I see all the male guys doing, acrylic nails. The fact that they have, Florida requires 180 hours to become a nail technician of school. How much school is required to apply a pesticide? No, but you need 40 hours of training. You need 40 hours of somebody saying they trained you. How do you know? I ask the questions in the market, ask the questions in the marketplace, and then we wonder why people think that we do this and there's no science behind it. There's no training, and this is why I'm putting out my free training. This is why the introduction to pest control is going to be free, because I believe that we need to get it out. If I want to make it accessible, I need to make it accessible. And why I'm doing the CEU training now, and when I've been talking about it forever, when I should have done it 2 years ago, but I couldn't. 2 years ago, I was involved in too many things that it exhausted me, took all the energy from me, and didn't allow me to think and do. Now I'm at a point where I have clarity, I have drive, I have determination, and I'm vocal about it. Having conversations with universities about how we take PMU and turn it into a course where we put that course from PMU into every little college in Florida. How does it get taught as a 40-hour program? Where they can take, instead of having, I'm trying to figure out with the curriculum how to take that entire curriculum all the way from GHP, lawn and ornamental, termite, the master class, and put it all in 1 week worth of training. So that if you want to send a technician, send them 1 whole week to school for 8 hours a day and have them get a 40-hour course with all that is covered. This is what I'm dreaming about, bro. It is possible. How do we take it and we do simulcast? If we can't get it into the colleges, how do we do it at multiple locations where we do a simulcast over the internet and do it live where people can actually ask questions across 20, 30 campuses? How do I know I can do this? Because my church does it. My church simulcasts over 20 campuses their message on Sunday morning. See, I'm not taking anything that isn't there. Here's the problem, implementation. You can talk about it all you want. Why don't you get involved at the congressional level and the legal level? I don't have the patience to sit in front of a bunch of politicians that are going to puppy dog me and tell me that they're going to get stuff done. That's not for me. I'm not a lobbyist. Pay somebody to be a lobbyist to get that done. I'm about vision, implementation, making it happen, doing it. I can't sit I mean, I'm on the Extension Council, on the Board of Advisors. I'm there because I love the Extension service, but I don't have the patience to sit there every meeting, read the notes from the last meeting, hash over the same thing, spend 30 to 40 minutes rehashing what we did not do the last 3 months, and then look at the next 3 months and just decide we just need to report on what we didn't do, what we did in advance. I just don't have the patience for that. I lose it with people like that. I get mean and nasty when that stuff happens, because I feel it is such a waste of resources and time. You have this intelligence sitting around you in a room, and all you have to do is record what was being discussed, say you had a meeting for the sake of recording it and justifying the existence of something, versus how do we go and do it better? And how do we implement? It's always the case. We don't have the money. We don't have the budget. We don't have the people. So they're saying we only treat 1% of the PMU said they only deal with 1% of the technicians in Florida. How do we get it to 5? How do we get it to 10? It's an awesome program. I was blown away by it. The best training I've ever gotten in the last, other than me studying on my own, where I actually went somewhere and I learned a lot of things I didn't know over the last 14 years. I was blown away. Rarely am I blown away by anything. At 50 years old, you don't get blown away by it. I know I don't look 50. I know that some people think I'm in my 30s. And they think, well, what does this guy know? He's only like 20-something, 30. No, dude, I'm 50. I've seen a lot. Experience is an awesome teacher. I'm going to be doing an entire series. I'm going to record it It's going to take me a year to do this on SEO. And what is SEO? Demystifying SEO, how to actually buy SEO and not get ripped off by a company. And we're going to be discussing all of this. So guys, I'm super excited about the future, about what's coming, about what I'm going to be able to do in the next year. What I haven't been, I'm going to accomplish more in the next year. Trust me, in the next year alone, I will accomplish more than I've accomplished in the last 6, just on this podcast alone. We're going to be able to 10x this and do a whole lot more. I'm going to put some serious money behind it because I believe there's a future there. When I start doing conferences, when I start doing local training, when I start doing, and I was having this discussion over the weekend with another gentleman who does CEU training, who's very involved in Tennessee. He just called me, actually messaged me. He didn't call me. I told him he could call me anytime he wanted to. I told him to be on the podcast. But he does training in 19 states, CEU. His dad started the company 50 years ago, and he runs that company now. He's up there in age too. We're having meaningful conversations with people that know what they're talking about. They are actually doing it. They're not theorizing about it. They're actually doing it. They're in the thick of it. And those are the people that I care to talk to. Those are the people that if you call me and you've got some time, I'll make time to have a conversation with you. I can't have a conversation, guys, with everyone that wants to call me to talk about how do I create a strategy for my pest control business. I'm going to have to charge you. But I need to have conversations with people that are up there that we can say, how do we get together, bro, and make a serious impact on the industry? Help. How do we help the industry? He was told there was no room for CEUs over the internet for pest control. Now his curriculum is certified in 19 states. The competition is getting very good, very fun. This is what I love. And producing the best content, producing the best training. He's involved in the legislature in Tennessee. He's involved in laws and things that are affecting the industry. This is a guy who's in the thick of it. Mad respect for you guys that are doing this, by the way. I think that we need to have more of these conversations. It just takes time because, he calls me on a Saturday. He's got things to do. His pipes are frozen. He's meeting with plumbers, and yet he's talking to me. So this is exciting. What's happening is exciting. And I was having the conversation, everybody about CEU meetings and training meetings. I said, why does it always have to be a discussion of this against that? Why is it that it's always we're so polarized in this country that it's left and right, or right, that is Calvinist over Arminian, that it's live training versus online training? Why can't it be this and that? As an educator, as an influencer, as a marketer, I could care less what I want. I'm only interested in what you want. And if you want live training, then I will make live training happen. And if you want online training, I will give it to you online. If you want it in the written form with a book, and you want to do it with correspondence school, this is what Purdue does. I will do that. If you want to do it on audio only while you're sitting in your car, I have an entire audio set to learn how to become a certified arborist. I have no passion for what I like. I only have a passion for what people like. I'm customer centric. So why aren't we having the discussion about this and that instead of this or that? I would never go to an online conference. That's you. But there's plenty of people who can benefit from that because guess what? You're the same guy that says I'm going to go to the only in-house training and then never share a darn thing that you learned with your people. As a matter of fact, you're not even hiring anybody. You're not training anybody. What do you care? What about the people that I'm getting messages from on a daily basis saying, My company asked me to do this, it's illegal. My company isn't training me. My company put me out there after 2 days. My company, and we're wondering why the industry isn't as advanced. I had one guy on a post say, that training thing is great, Frank, but if we do all this training for technicians, then we got to raise our prices to our customers. And if we raise our prices, the costs go up. So what you're saying is, let's stay willfully ignorant and stupid so that we can keep prices low. Let me see if I got that correctly. This is the stuff I can't make up, folks. This is the stuff that makes my blood boil. And the reasoning is, we're not going to invest in our people, and we're not going to get quality because they're going to just leave and go work for somebody else, or they're going to leave and start up a company. My biggest worry is that the stupid people actually stay in my company, and I got the stupidest people on the block. I mean, listen to that. I mean, tell me that. Oh, well, you put it that way, it makes perfect sense. Hell yeah. You just haven't heard yourself say it. I don't care if I train the best people and they leave. I don't care. We got to make it practical. We got to make it to where we're investing in people in a way that makes sense, business-wise. Let me fold my legs because I'm getting old, bro. I'm trying to keep my eggs down, fold my legs, my back in this little chair. My biggest concern is that we have those attitudes that hold everybody back. And instead of moving forward, instead of doing so, let's say that for the price, the cost of sending somebody to PMU, which only 1% will send because of all these excuses, because of all these costs. I get the costing. I'm going now to get the training so that I can bring the training back, implement it, and give it to my people. But in my heart, I'm a trainer. I'm a discipler. I believe in Bible discipleship, not Bible training, discipleship. You walk with me. Here's how it's done. Share all that knowledge with my people. Share it with the world. So if we could do it for 80% of the cost, there's still guys out there that says, I'm not going to pay $39 for a course. You're the kind of guy that will never pay for anything. That's not my concern, that you won't. I can't listen to you. I ignore you. I would rather sell 1,000 courses at $39 to people that are actually going to do something with it than to sell a $300 course to 10 people that they're going to hoard it. I'd rather invest in people that want. I could care less about the guy who says, I'm never going to go to your course. It doesn't matter to me. You're never going to spend the money. You're never going to go to my course. I don't care to influence you. I don't care to have a debate with you. I don't care to argue this with you. We're having fruitless and meaningless conversations in groups. This is why I've left most of the groups. And then second of all, I don't want to market in the groups because then it's like, oh, you're only here because, bro, you're taking my audience. I can get the same audience myself. I can run ads for pennies on Facebook. They're not that expensive. You know, so many insecurities, so many phobias, so many. It takes a really little person to be that insecure and that selfish and that self-centered. That's what it really comes down to. You're insecure. So guys, this is what I want to leave you. I'm giving you an update of where we're going, what we're doing. And anybody going to PMU next week, I'm leaving Tuesday. By the way, if I'm at PMU and you guys want to do a podcast together, I'd love to have you. If we meet anywhere and you want to do a podcast, I carry this phone, microphone, and tripod. We can sit in a chair, have a conversation, have a cigar. I might take a cigar this time. Last time it was really cold. It was like 39 degrees at night, 32 degrees, frosty in the morning. No way I'm sitting outside at 30-something degrees to smoke a cigar. I'm not addicted. I don't need to have a smoke. Let's have a conversation. Let's give the most that we have. Let's give the best. look on how we move together, how we rise up, how we raise prices because they're so low, because again of the attitudes that people have. It's a race to the bottom. It's easy to go down. It's easy to sling mud. It's easy to argue with each other instead of coming up with real answers, because it takes thinking. It's said that thinking is the hardest job there is. That's why so few people engage in it. When I put out certain posts that really challenge people, I'd rather get 3 likes and 1 comment that is meaningful than to get 15, 60, 100 likes and shares and have people tearing each other apart in my group, and some people sitting there laughing their butt off thinking this is amazing. It's not amazing. And so most people aren't even commenting. They're messaging me and saying, I don't want to comment this in the group because everybody's going to have a fit. But I agree with you. That right there is more meaningful than if you would have disagreed with everybody and argued in a group on Facebook. I care for quality, not quantity. So while I get criticized for only having 1,500 followers on my Facebook group, those 1,500 followers are different than what's in everybody group. Having 5,000 people and 4% participation, and then having people tear each other apart, how is that fruitful? You tell me. How is that productive? How is having the same conversation about bifenthrin helping anybody? How is the discussion about what the best pyrethroid is and ending up with 350 comments on pyrethroids helpful? It's not. What's the best thing to kill flies? A shoe. We're having a lot of conversations that are just not fruitful. They're so low level. How do we solve the problem? Term limits. One person had an intelligent answer. That one is more important than anybody else who decided they're going to have a debate about Trump and Biden. Like, guys, I haven't watched the news going on 10 years. And guess what? In 10 years, none of you have solved it. All this knowledge you have about politics hasn't solved a damn thing. As a matter of fact, we're an angrier country now than we were 10 years ago. Since Obama. We've become an angrier nation. We're having more turmoil. How is it that having all this information available to us on Facebook, Twitter, CNN, how has that actually made us a better society? It hasn't. I live on godly principles, and most people don't want to hear about it because most of America doesn't want to hear about it because it cramps their style. But yet those are the same people going out rioting and burning and doing all the stuff that they're doing. How is it helping our young people? It's not. So we have more information available to us. We have more ways to communicate, and all we're doing is spewing out hate and anger. Even from guys who say they're Christians. I'm challenging you. Where is the fruit of the Spirit in your life? Where is the joy? Where is the peace? Where is the gentleness? Where is the meekness? Where is the self-control? Because education and knowledge doesn't produce that. Only Christ produces that. Only the Holy Spirit in your life and abiding in Christ and a relationship with Christ produces that in your life. I was so angry last week. And literally I sat there and I heard God talking to me and says, Frank, be angry, just don't sin. I didn't put out any hate. I put out how I felt about the situation. I put out the facts about the situation. And instead of slinging mud, like most people would do and call out, a lot of people say, you should call them out. And they text me and message, you should call them out. And I said, no, I'm taking a high road. Paul Bellow wrote something that I already had thought about, but, you know, hey, don't sling mud and take the high road. And I did. And now, how do I get even? How do I take revenge? Oh, it's very simple. I educate. I inform. I save a bunch of people from that heartache. I save a bunch of people from experimenting the loss and the pain and the anger that I felt. You see, that's how I solve things. I take my influence and I'm going to use it for good. I'm not going to tear down. I'm going to lift up. See, it's easy to come in with a bulldozer and tear a house down. It's much harder to build one up. Anyone can tear down. Anyone can destroy. Anyone can do what is wrong. We're hardwired for that. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may know what the good and excellent, and I forgot the center part, will of God is. But God has an acceptable, a good, and perfect will. I want the perfect will. That's why I transform myself by the renewing of my mind. I don't know everything, but I try to be around people that know more than me, that can lift me up so I can lift up others. This is my ministry. You know what the word ministry means? The word ministry means to serve, a servant. Jesus says, you want to be the greatest? Be a servant of all. I have made myself a servant of all people in this industry so that I can be the greatest. I give content and information and education at scale disproportionate to what I'm asking for. That's called value. I'm taking the time and I'm doing all of this because I truly believe that there's a future for me to do seminars and expos larger than what's being done right now for who it matters most. The guy that nobody is giving a darn about. Everything is done in this industry for operators and owners. Very little what is done in this industry is actually directed to the actual technician on the front line to help him directly. And that's the guy I'm going to target. How do I do it? I bypass everybody. I put it out for free and I bypass everybody. I don't have to ask PCT to be on their magazine. They're not going to let me. I don't have to submit an article to Pest Management magazine. One day they're going to ask me to be on their cover. Watch. I don't have to get National Pest Management's permission. I've tried having the conversations with them. They're not having it. I don't have to ask to walk into a university and teach a lecture. I create my own platform. I create my own. I paid it with my own money, my own time, my own sweat, my own hours, my own sleepless nights doing it. So that then in the end, somebody can say, hey, you know, I think we need to get together and do something together. And I said, sure, let's do something together. Because what a lot of people say, well, when they want to, I'm not letting them play. No, I'm not an angry little kid that takes his ball home because nobody let him play. On the contrary, one day, I will sit at Purdue and I will give a keynote speech. One day, I'll get an honorary doctorate. One day, I will get recognition from people that one day did not even allow me, that didn't even wanted to talk to me. Those are lofty goals. Yep. Big, hairy, audacious goals. Why? Because if you don't set them, you won't achieve. If I can achieve half of that in my lifetime, It will be better than if I didn't do anything at all. I am investing at scale now. The thing is that my buddy, has been his dream to do something like this with a brand. He says, man, I went to work for this company to do advertising, and all I was doing, I was putting out pieces, taking pictures and putting them in a catalog. How boring. No creativity. And I said, now he has an outlet for what he wants to say. I want to build, a brand. I want to do the brand building. I want a place to work where I can take all of my creative skills. And I said, bro, here's your department. Run it. I don't care how you do it. Here's the money. I just bought a brand new computer, brand new monitor, spent $1,700 so that he could have the best equipment to work on. Gaming computer with a 40-inch monitor. And so he can do all the work he needs to do. We pay for all the software. I pay for $6,000 a year for all the software we use. I got SpyFu now, and I'm investing in all the tools again for SEO. Doesn't matter. Why? Because I'm proving it can be done. So watch for the Academy. Watch the content fly. Watch the information fly. Making it accessible. Going direct to consumer. Going direct to technician. MPMA won't do it because they're going to piss off all the owners. I don't care to piss off all the owners. I'm sorry. I want good information out there to the people that matters the most. It is your responsibility to see if I am the guy that's feeding your people. Here's what happens. You will lose the respect of your people. That's going to force you to have to raise the bar on yourself. I'm going to force you to have to do better so that people will respect you in your organization. When you're not teaching your people, you're not training, somebody else is, they will get the respect and the admiration that you're not getting because you're not investing in your people. It's very simple. I'm telling you my strategy so that you can do something about it. You can't stop people from turning on the podcast and listening to me. You can't stop them from being on YouTube. You can't say, if you listen to Frank, you're fired. You have to be able to, you raise the bar in your company. You raise the level. You raise the level of care. You raise the level of care for your people. You raise the level of care for your client. You raise the level of training. You raise the level of knowledge. You do it. And then we're going to see how the independents go up against the national brands, because that's my goal. My end goal is, at the end of the day, we're going to raise independents and independent pest control companies, because all the big national guys have all the training and all the education. I'm doing a sales training right now that I'm putting together the final notes on it. A sales course that we're going to be teaching, which I'm adding all this stuff, guys. I'm working an enormous amount of hours. You just don't see it yet. But I'm working 10 to 14 hours a day still. Partly working 30 hours a week in my business and working about 40 on the business and on all these ideas and getting people together and bringing the talent together to get this, doing sales training for technicians, specifically focused for field service technicians, sales training. How do we do it? It's very simple. You do it. So I'm going to have all that included in the academy to help your people. We're putting together a part of the academy. I've been talking to some of you, and you guys want to do groups, and you use it as a group training. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to put the resources in there so you can buy a course that's very economical so that you can train on Monday mornings, Tuesday, whenever you have your meetings, and you will have handouts and training material that they can take notes on, and the quizzes that you can print out and give to your people already done for you. So that if you have 3, 4, 5 technicians, you can do this, get together, watch the video, take notes, do a quiz, full-blown training academy. I'm going over there to PMU because I'm learning from them. I'm learning their systems. I'm learning their style. I'm learning from everybody. But the difference is that I don't have to wait 3 years to get approval from corporate to make this happen. I can write the check and do it. And that's it. I can move, I can implement. I'm free to do what I want. I don't have to be subservient to anybody. So instead of saying, man, he's taking everything from everybody. Yep. Because that's what real people do. Nobody has a unique thing. Uber didn't create the taxi service. Uber didn't create the black car service. Uber created an app and allowed the average guy to be able to provide a clean car in 3 to 4 minutes versus 30 minutes in a dirty old car that has 350,000 miles on it that smells like urine, vomit, and sweat. Pick you up within a couple of minutes, and for the same amount of money, even more, provide a black car service to the average man. They have nothing new. They built an app. They took a combination of ideas. That's what new products are. It's a combination of ideas. I'm learning from everybody. I'm paying the price to go learn so that I can do. I'm also learning how to do termite because I want to learn to do termite. This is the time to offer a full service pest control company. I'm taking newer equipment and different things besides the old one and making compact vehicles that don't require all the fuel because fuel prices are going to go through the roof again. I was thinking of buying a big truck, and I said, heck no. I can't wait for fuel to go back up to $4 a gallon and me running around with a truck that takes $1,000 a month to fuel to operate it when we're operating it right now with $200 a month. Challenge ourselves, push ourselves. You know, like the $6 million man, we're making them faster, better, stronger. That's what we need to do, guys. We need to make our technicians faster, better, stronger. Our services faster, better, stronger. Not just faster, not just cheaper, better. That's why I have a $5 million goal. I think I'm going to raise it to the $6 million business. Faster, better, stronger. The $6 million man. I love that. I used to remember watching that as a kid. That's what we need to do. I mean, you need to dream like a kid. See, the thing is, I have this childlike nature, this childlike faith. I read stuff that people put out, and I said, they did a test, I can do it. They did a study, I can duplicate it. I don't judge it. I don't sit there and go, it will never work. That'll never work. That'll never work. I said, let's test it, see what happens. Guy called me this morning, you know, Joel says, bro, I want to buy a 3D printer and start doing 3D printer and this and that. And we had a debate about, I said, bro, just start doing prototypes for people and charge $1,000. You know how it takes to build a prototype? It takes tens of thousands of dollars to build a prototype. Buy a printer, build a website, a sales funnel, put a couple of videos together, sell it online and sell prototypes for $1,000. I don't judge it. I have a childlike faith. That's the difference. You guys have gotten so old and so set in your ways. I'm the old dog that's learning new tricks every day. I love being around young people. They've got all these ideas. I said, bro, but reverse engineer it. Don't buy the printer and figure out what you're going to do with it. Figure out a niche and then build it and build the concept, test the concept, and then go buy the best printer you can buy and buy a $6,000 printer. Everybody's sitting there judging everything like it can't be done. That can't be done. This can't be done. Nothing can be done. I'm like, you know, I read a couple of articles when I was starting out on IPM and I said, let's try it. Let's buy Bavaria Bassiana. Let's see what happens. Let's buy essential oil, see what happens. Let's go buy this and try it for a year and see what happens. Let's test it 6 weeks from Sunday and see what happens. That's how I've done everything. I buy stuff, I test it and see what happens. And, oh, serendipity happened. No, it didn't. I just try enough things and I got it done, and I figured out what worked, what didn't work. I put it together. I combined this with that. I made a combination, and now I came up with my own service. But it's not IPM service. Who cares? I don't write content for your approval. But you're misleading the client. No, I'm not. I'm explaining it. You're reading the marketing. Marketing brings the customer in. I explain it to the client. I give them the pros and cons. We give them a list of all the products we're using, and we let them decide if this business is for them. And if it's not, the market decides, not you. Stop being so judgmental. Stop being so critical. Stop being so negative. You're bringing everybody around you down, dude. You're like Debbie Downer. Can't be done. Nothing changes. The political climate sucks. Big companies take away all our business. The door-to-door guys are lying to everybody, taking away my customers. You know, Facebook is responsible. CNN is responsible. Fox is responsible. No, you're responsible. Cut the BS. Stop blaming everybody for your failure, for everything that's going on. You're responsible. Vote these guys out of office and take a chance on a new guy that doesn't know anything. Yeah, but that's why we need term limits. What are you going to do with term limits? You're going to have to get a new guy in there anyway. If you got term limits, they're done. You got to bring a new guy in with no experience. You're darned if you do, and you're darned if you don't. Can't listen to everybody. It's time to try different things. Try new things. Try something you've never done before. Go out and take a chance on something. Take a small chance. Take 1% of your company budget to try new things. Risk $10,000 a year on new things. Who knows? Guys, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, all I'm sharing with you guys is what I've actually done for the last 10 years to take our product or service if we can get this marketing off the ground in the next 90 days, I'm going to need an admin. And I'm going to need a salesperson. And I'm going to be producing leads and just handing off leads to salespeople. People to book appointments for me when I need to go out and do a termite job, sell lawn and ornamental right over the phone. Why? Because I've done it forever. I can teach anybody to do it. Guys, I used to sell $13 million a year in contracts, 1,500 contracts a year across 26 states. I know how to sell on the phone. Selling on the phone doesn't work. I need to talk to the person. No, you don't. You need to do that. I don't need to do that. We got a termite job. Book the appointment. I'll split the commission with you. Business deals are simple. Why are you complicating them? Answer all the calls. Call every one of our customers. See how you can upsell them on mosquito this year. You get a commission on that. The customer, call every customer and find out if they want a free termite inspection. If I sell it, I give you half of the commission. Yeah, but nobody's going to go for that. Somebody will go for that. There's a woman somewhere who has 2 kids in school, and she doesn't want to go out anymore in the workforce to go work, and she has customer service experience, she has sales experience, and she'd rather work at home, you know, from 8 o'clock in the morning, drop off her kids, stay home till 3:30 until they come home, and answer phone for 6 hours a day. What are you going to do the other side? I hire another lady that wants to do the same thing at night. Why are you making things so difficult? Why are you putting so many excuses about what can't be done? Why are you putting limitations? I want somebody from 9 to 5. Why can't it be 8 to 3? And then from 3 to 9 o'clock at night so you can take care of calls at night and add 20 to 30% of your business? Why can't you hire a technician? Why does it have to be from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night, burn the technician out? Why can't it be from 7 to 3 if he only wants to work 30 hours a week and then hire a guy to work from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 9, 10 o'clock at night and service customers that work late? Why? Well, I don't like working evening. Who says you have to work? Hire a manager. Hire a guy to do this. Hire a guy to keep track of all these people. If he's available from 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night on the phone as a manager and works in the field for 4 or 5 hours a day and then is there, what does it matter? Why are you making things so difficult? Why are you making so many excuses? It's starting to rain and I got to go in, guys. Hey, this is Frank the Pesky. Wishing you a spectacular day. Bye.